सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीं अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि। भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। My namaskar to all who are attending this class. We are in the fourth chapter. Going through these verses which narrates the state of the yogin who is perfected in this path of karma yoga here. As the name of the chapter suggests, so jnana karma sannyas yoga, that nyasa or tyaga of karma into the jnana karma sannyasa, and through which you attend the yoga. So I had been underlining this point while this narration of these verses from verse number 18 to verse number, now we will look into the verse 23. Until now we have looked the verses until 22. So we see that the 22nd verse, the last verse, yadrucha labha santushto द्वंद्वातीतो विमत्सरः समः सिद्धौ असिद्धौ च कृत्वापि न निबध्यते यदृच्छालाभ संतुष्टः. So here very clearly it comes out that spiritual life, the philosophy of spiritual life as enshrined in the Gita, presents a different view before us. Here karma yoga is not like dank materialistic obsession for the work which is motivated by desires with the objectives of attaining the instruments, material instruments, securing them. These instruments in the way of thinking that they might be instrument of happiness. Spiritual life does not, or Gita here does not propose that kind of attitude. Here, his complete outlook towards the world, his or hers, the one who is sadhaka or sadhika and want to excel on the path of spiritual progress. So, the greatest sacrifice it demands at the very outset is this change of outlook. Can you really, truly, honestly accept this outlook towards yourself, towards life, and how much true to that outlook you can bring the change in your life, how true to that outlook you can live your day-to-day life. That's most important. So, there are moments in our day which are ordinary, which does not create any undue pressure upon us, which are our suppose doing routine work, which are our normal course of day. And here, especially that sadhana must be done. Here, especially that outlook must be tried to live by. Here, that sadhana that must be practiced. Whether you can elevate your mind and do your day-to-day work with that kind of attitude. There are in this following this 23rd verse, various verses will come. So, when one can practice or one is practicing in those ordinary moments, try to elevate his mind, try to tune his mind, try to color his or her own mind, and then try to do actions. Then only when there come special moments, special in the sense of when you are not yourself, either by joy, happiness, excitement, or sorrow, misery, or provocation, or dejection, you are not yourself. Then only in those moments, the wealth created by your sadhana in ordinary moments, the fortification created by the sadhana in these ordinary moments, the strength which is gained by the sadhana in these ordinary moments can stand by you, can reinforce your effort, can at least remind you of what you were trying to do, and that we should withhold yourself. Spiritual life is certainly not a casual engagement. It is not entertainment. It is not that at certain moments of time you get bored, that you need a reason, you need something to hang on to. Like we develop hobbies, spiritual life is not hobby. It is not intended to be. If one is practicing like that, it is his or her own choice. It is not intended to be. It is not meant to be. That's why I used to ask these different kinds of questions when somebody is to come to have Diksha. Diksha is meant for that person who has awakened to this idea. However, the people who might have tried it very honestly and sufficiently, they know how difficult it is. And yes, it is difficult. It is not easy. There is going to be the cost. Then only something so valuable is going to come. It cannot be cheap. It cannot be easy. To put into the words of Swami Vivekananda, as he said, there is nothing like comfortable religion. There is nothing like comfortable religion. that you want to be religious as well as it is very comfortable. No. You are challenging the status quo. You are changing the course of the river which has come down from so long time. And change is not going to be happier or comfortable initially. Once you are grooved in, once you got the hang of it, then certainly it becomes easier, of course. But to excel in this path, it demands sacrifices. It demands that work. Yadrucha labha santushtaha. If I just meditate on the idea of this 22nd verse, we can understand, we can imagine whether we can truly live true to these ideas. So, verses from 18 to 23rd, they are so important. That is the crux of Jnana Karma Sannyas Yoga. These are the verses which narrates the state of the yogi who is established in the Karma Yoga, who has become perfected in the Karma Yoga, and what is his or her nature is like. That is what is narrated in these verses from 18 to 23rd. Now in 23rd verse, as if it concludes. So what does it say in this verse? Gata sangasya muktasya jnana avasthita chetasah yajnaya acharatah karma samagram praviliyate. So that person, Gata sangasya, his all attachment is gone. He is free. That's why he is free. Muktasya. This word immediately, when there is no attachment, he is definitely free. Man is bound by his own attachment to different objects, in which he has attributed some emotional value to it, and he is bound by that. The person, the truly free, he is devoid of that. He sees the things as they are. Things, the person, the moment, the results, the action, their fruits. Outside of him and within him. That is very important. Gata sangasya. His attachment is gone. And that's why he is free. Gata sangasya muktasya. And when he is not attached anywhere, where does his mind dwell? It is told here in the Jnana avasthita chetasa. Avasthita, which is situated, established, seated in avasthitaha. Where? In Jnana. What is seated in there? Chetasa. That is the mind. Chetana. His awareness is constantly abiding in consciousness. That this discrimination which he was following, discrimination between Sharira and Shariri, Deha and Dehi, of evanescent and real. So, the word consciousness has become real for that person. he has been successful to crack these layers of Maya, of this ignorance, crack open and let the light of that Atman come through. And after his efforts, after his sadhana, that door has become completely, permanently open, and he is constantly connected to it. Jnana avasthita chetasa. Though his senses are perceiving this sense world, and there are actions, there is karma going on by this body, by these senses, for the preservation of the body, or the momentum with which this was going on, till it expiates its force, till it exhausts its force, its momentum. Till then, work will go on. And that person, but his chetasa, his awareness, his mind is constantly dwelling in the jnana, in that knowledge. And all his actions, how are they? Yajnaya, as if for the sacrifice. Yajnaya acharatah karma. And what about this? Thus, this all his actions which are done in the spirit of sacrifice. How that sacrifice is like, it is being explained in the next set of verses, starting from verse number 24. But thus, these all his actions done as if a sacrifice is being done. What happens? Samagram praviliyate. That all those actions and fruits thereof, they are all dissolved. Does not bind to the person, because there is no binding, there is no person. He has been successful, that yogi has been successful in completely dissolving his ego, his person, to which then these fruits of action will come to. So they dissolve. They does not bind. There is no binding, because at one end there has to be karta, there is no karta. And how is it like? Like in Bengali it is, so sometime I have heard this verse, so adage as not verse. Ganga Jale Ganga Puja. That worshipping Ganga with the water of Ganga itself. That the waves are rising in the ocean. They rise from the ocean, takes water from the ocean, rises, exists, and then submerge into the ocean only. That water from the ocean takes a different shape, as if different from the ocean, which has perhaps its unique identity, and then submerges, dissolves itself into the ocean, becomes the ocean again. So this idea of yajna, which comes up here, yajnaya acharatah karma, what does it mean? What is it like? To clarify this point, to hone this point, Bhagavan then narrates this idea in further few sets of verses. So this is the 23rd verse. So we will recapitulate a little bit from the 18th verse onward with their simple meaning, and we will see what does this 23rd verse refers to. So 18th verse said, कर्मणि अकर्मयः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्मयः स बुद्धिमान मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृष्ण कर्मकृत. That the person who sees absence of action, non-action in action, and action in non-action, he is truly intelligent among the men, and he is yukta. That he is yogi, and he is discharger of all his or her responsibilities. Sa Krishna Karmakrut. He is the doer of all actions. That as if he has done everything. And the 19th verse, Yasya sarva samarambhaha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni dagdha karmanam tamahu panditam buddha. So the idea of jnana comes here in the context of karma yoga, here in the 19th verse, and then again in the 23rd verse. So whose all initiative, yasya sarve samarambhaha, they are devoid of what? Kama sankalpa varjitaha, devoid of kama and sankalpa, of the desire and commitments. And for such person, all his karmas, jnanagni dagdha karmanam, that the fire of knowledge has devoured, everything burnt to ashes. What? The karmas of such person. And to such person, really, wise can be said. He alone can be said to be a wise. Tamahu panditam buddhaha. This person, tyaktva karma phala sangam, by giving up karma phala and being asanga, non-attached, he is eternally pacified, satisfied, nitya trupto. That there is no dissatisfaction which pushes him to do something to satisfy himself. Nitya trupto, nirashrayah. He is independent, without taking shelter or dependent of anybody. Nirashrayah. And this person, even if he is engaged, abhipravrittopi, engrossed into the work, karmani, he is as if not doing anything. Naiva kinchit karoti saha. This person, nirashihi, that he does not harbor any hopes from anything or any person or any moment. No hopes, no expectations. Nirashi, yata chittatma. That's why his mind is completely controlled. Tyakta sarva parigraha, that he does not accept anything. Like every person, he is accepting something or other from somebody else, but become overly, due to his attachment, get burdened under it, succumb to its pressure. If especially it is not, if that person was not deserving such kind of favor. So parigraha, he had given up. Whatever comes to him by chance, yadrucha labha, that is the next verse. So this person, because he had given up all these ideas of acceptance, of benevolence, which is binding to others, so idea of this parigraha, and that's why his mind is controlled, yata chittatma, and that's why this person, this, because he does not he is able to succeed, not to harbor any hopes or expectation from any other person. Nirashihi yathachittatma tyakta sarva parigraha. And his all actions as if they are only physical, shariram kevalam karma. And this person, while doing something, he does not incur any sin. Kilbisham na apnoti. And thus he is living like yadrucha labha santushto, whatever the chance might bring. Going past the dualities, dvandva atitaha, having no ill feeling towards anything in this world, vimatsaraha, and steady in the success or failure, samaha siddhau asiddhau cha. And this person, even while acting, doing karma, is not bound, na nivadhyate. And this is the character of the person who is referred here as Gata Sangasya in the 23rd verse, which we just saw. The man devoid of all attachment. So where does his attachment lies? He is free. So where does he exist? He exists in knowledge. Jnana avasthita chetasa. And as if all his actions are done for the sacrifice, yajnaya acharata karma. All his actions, samagram praviliyate, they dissolves and does not come back to him. So what is that sacrifice is like is explained in this 24th verse. Brahmarpanam brahmahavi brahmagnau brahmana hutam brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. That this person, brahma karma samadhin, this yogi, all his actions are like this. Given the example of an yajna, where the yajnakarta or purohit, whoever is doing these oblations, doing ahutis into the yajna. So there are different instruments. There is this yajaka who is doing yajna. There are materials, like we see here when homa or yajna is done on Mother Sthiti Puja day. So there are materials used, like there are samidha, which is those woods which are burnt. Then there is ghee, that is the clarified butter. Then there are bilva leaves. Then there are sesame seeds. So all these materials are used. Lastly, fruits, a banana and curd is also offered in Purnahuti. So different materials are going to be offered to the fire. And there are instruments like Yajnakunda is there. Then that Tamrapatra Patra is there, in which there is this ghee. And the ladle is there, which is used to offer that oblations, that is ahuti. So there are instruments, there are materials, and there is a yajaka, and then there is a fire. So this example, this drishtanta is taken here to compare the yajna of this karma yogin, how his all actions are. Citing this example as if this action of offerings of this ahutis, arpanam, So that action is Brahma. Consciousness. Then it is Havi, that is ghee, that is also Brahma, or whatever is going to be offered. That Agni is again Brahma. So Brahma Arpanam, Brahma Havi, and Brahma Agni. Three things have been said. Brahma Arpanam, that action, that is Brahma. What is being offered, that is Brahma. And where it has been offered in the fire, that is also Brahman. So, this person, Brahma Karma Samadhin, that whose all his actions are as if the sacrifice of Brahman into Brahman with the help of Brahman. The action is Brahman, the object which are being used, those are Brahman. Where it has been offered, that is Brahman. Whole Kriya thus has become Brahman. And this person is referred here as a Brahma Karma Samadhi. So, and this person, what is being said about him here? Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. That to Brahman alone he will go. All his actions, every action of his is like this sacrifice. Is as if that Arpanam is Brahman, Havi is Brahman, Agni is Brahman. And that Ahuti. So, Brahmana Hutam with the. So, by Brahman it is offered into Brahman. So, this person, thus seeing God everywhere, seeing this consciousness everywhere, where is seeing that consciousness is merging into consciousness, the reality of every action, thus physical, oral, or psychological, is of this nature. And this person, as he is abiding in Brahman, he goes to Brahman itself. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. Now this verse we chant at the time of beginning of our food. So many times you might have thought, what is the connection of this verse to the food or eating? So this is not pranam mantra. This is not pranam mantra we are doing. We are not showing our respect to the food. It is not that. We are not being gracious to the God that you have given me my bread and butter. It is not that. You see, this idea is very high. Food is, or taking food is, one of the most common, most routine, most usual way of indulging your senses. You do not just eat to fill your stomach, to have energy and to have nutrition. You just do not eat like that. It has a pleasure value, it has an emotional value. You are attached to it. And every day, 2 times, 3 times, maybe many more people, many times, they indulge themselves in eating. And because it is widely accepted, it is not condemnable, so you generally try to forget and want to indulge into the sense pleasure. This is the most basest, commonest sense pleasure every individual want to lose himself or herself into. Even poorest of the poorest or richest of the richest, they want their meal to be enjoyable. Nobody leaves it or does it just for the sake of nutrition and quenching the appetite. So here, to remind yourself of your ideal and not to let go of that idea that what your life is for. This verse we recite to remind ourselves that food is that Brahman, eating is the Brahman, that where we are, that food is being offered to that Vaishvanara fire within you in the form of that hunger, it is also Brahman. It is also but the manifestation of that consciousness. That food is but the manifestation of the consciousness. The idea of eating, the idea of that experience is but the manifestation of that consciousness. Not to let go your heart, not to let go your mind after this, to lose your mind after this, and remain awake into that yajna of consciousness, Brahma yajna. This verse we recite. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi Brahmagnau Brahmana Hutam Brahmaiva tena gantavyam Brahma karma samadhina. So this is the idea of this verse. Now this idea will be again reinstated, explained through a set of few more verses. So what is being said in the next verse? Daivam eva apare yajñam yoginah paryupasate brahmagnau apare yajñam yajñena eva upajuhati. So some people, now this idea, what is this Brahma Yajna means? What is it like? To form such idea, Bhagavan Krishna here is taking some example. So some people, as they are doing yajna for the various gods like Indra, Agni, Varuna, etc., to pacify them, to get their blessings. So Daivam eva, some people apare are doing yajna. Yogina paryupasate, they are worshipping some yogis. Some yogis are doing that. Apare yoginaha. So Daivam eva. For devas, these yajnas are being done. And then apare, that few others, what they are doing? Brahmagnau. Instead of doing yajna like that, physically, lighting up the fire and offering oblations, they are doing their yajna in this Brahmagnau, which is constantly present, ever present, that consciousness, that Brahman. They are doing, and that is considered to be the fire, Brahmagnau. Brahmagnau apare yajñam yajñena eva upajuhati. By doing such yajna, In this Brahmagni, they are worshipping Upajuvati, they are doing all these sacrifices, offering everything to that fire of consciousness. The fire of knowledge was spoken earlier. The same thing, this fire of this Brahman, fire of this consciousness. Then some are doing a kind of yajna of, they are offering, what they are offering? Shrotradini, Indriyani. So, these are the Indriyas, as if they are the objects of the offering. These are being offered by some to the fire of Sanyama. To the fire of Sanyama. They are offering Indriyas to this fire of Sanyama. And some, what they are doing? Like Shabdadi Vishaya, that sense objects, they are offering to the fire of Indriyas, as if Indriya are lit with fire. Fire of that thirst, of that hunger to devour those sense objects. They are demanding that, hungry. Those particular Indriya are hungry after the different sense objects. And some people are offering that. Whereas some people are offering these Indriyas to the Sayama, to the restraint. Both are as if sacrifices. What a grand idea. One who is satisfying his Indriyas is a sacrifice, is a yajna in itself. He is offering the sense objects to the senses. It's a one kind of sacrifice. One can understand what sacrifice to be done. And one is offering these Indriyas to the fire of restraint. One is pacifying all his Indriyas by granting them whatever they want. Whatever those Indriyas want, whatever those Indriyas are running after. And one who is restraining them, it is referred as a fire, and offering those Indriyas to that, the fire of restraint. That is one kind of sacrifice. Again, the same idea is explained in the 27th verse. Sarvani Indriya Karmani. And taking this idea furthermore, that all Indriya Karmanis, like what is happening within you or with outside of you. Thus it is said, Sarvani Indriya Karmani, Prana Karmani cha apare. So, some are, what they are doing? That all your Indriya Karmanis and your Prana Karmanis, they are being offered through Atma Sanyama Yoga Agni. This Atma Sanyama he is practicing, that yogi. It is like a fire, and he is offering all his Indriya Karmanis and Prana Karmanis. That Atma Sanyama Yogagni is Jnana Deepite. It is lit with the lamp of Jnana, Jnana Deepite. That knowledge of this consciousness that has lit that up, and that Atma Sanyama Yogagni, that yogi is performing that sacrifice. That whatever that necessary actions are to be done, they are done in the spirit of this yajna. And they are all his actions, all his Indriya Karmanis and Prana Karmanis. Prana Karmanis especially uh, all your inner functions, physical or psychological, they happen due to the movements of prana. So also your outside action like walking, you say, like talking, like moving somewhere, moving of your limbs, outside action. Inside the physical actions like eating fruit, digesting food, or breathing, or pumping your heart blood, they are also controlled by, fueled by prana. These are all your thinking. This is all the function of prana. Prana, unless it is fueled by prana, these actions cannot happen. So prana karmani, functions of prana and functions of indriyas, the actions of indriyas and actions of prana, all those actions are offered. They are done as if they are offering into this fire of Yogagni, Atma Sanyama Yogagni. That yogi has lit that fire with the knowledge, with the lamp of that knowledge. So this is the 27th verse. So these verses are thus very beautiful to meditate upon, and we can correlate our life to it and try to practice little bit. So the most importantly, at the very outset, it demands that we must honestly accept the idea, and then alone any a grain of action can be expected from us. So first the intellectual and then emotional acceptance of the idea is necessary. Then only a person can honestly think upon this idea, deliberate upon this idea, and then he can visualize his life, his day, through the frame of these ideas, and then only some changes, some transformation into his day-to-day living can be thought of. So we take a break here at the end of 27th verse. We will again meditate upon these verses in our next class and take this dialogue, take this narration of Bhagavan further from here. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.